All right, you're all set. You're alive.
Okay, thanks.
No problem. I'll stick around for check-in.
Okay, great, great. I have to, for some reason, looking at the slide presentation, didn't quite get updated with the newest deck. So I'm gonna try and open up some new things here. Okay. Hello, everyone. I see someone's iPhone with your phone number. If you could tell me, just give me your name. I can change your name for you here. Or you can put it in chat. There we, oh, hi, Elaine. Okay. Got a few people coming in. Welcome to How to Buy Your Next Windows PC. Joanna, do you know why someone's phone number would show up instead of their Zoom name? Do you think it's because they didn't log in with the Zoom app, perhaps?
Right. I think they probably just called in with the
Okay,
number.
okay. Usually I get a few people from the virtual backgrounds class that decide it's time to maybe look at upgrading their Windows PC so they can use virtual backgrounds. So we'll give people a minute or two to join in. I'm just curious, how many of you have a PC that's more than 5 years old? Anyone? I have one that's 4. Okay. Okay. You may find it's getting a little tough to do the things that we expect our PCs to do now on Zoom and do a few other things. But we're going to learn a little bit about what makes a PC work so you can understand what things really are important from a performance, and then some potential places to maybe look at finding some good reviews for PCs as well.
I used to be a PC person, and I kind of converted to Mac because I received a present from my children a couple of years ago. But predominantly more people seems to be using PC, and PC is much less expensive than Mac. So I'm ready to buy it. I know how to use it more or less, but yeah, some of my grandchildren have PCs, some of them Mac. So I am willing to invest in buying one, not in a super duper high end model, but not too primitive model, in between.
Just the Goldilocks. Remember the fairy tale about Goldilocks and the Three Bears? You know, I want a PC that's just right. You know. Well, we'll talk about the range of PCs and everything like that. Let me. I'm recording the session. Let me share my screen for you a little bit and go through some of the introductory slides. We do have Joanne Bradley from Get Set Up. She is able to help anyone that might be having difficulty. She'll be on for a little while. And then she has to go off to another class to get that started up as well. But we're going to talk about how to buy your next Windows computer. And I go shopping around for computers and technology just to keep up with it. It's kind of a hobby for me. I'm living in Seal Beach, California, for those of you that have had a class from me before. And I was born in the Midwest. My dad was a school teacher, and we took Route 66 across the country to get to the West Coast. And I've worked in the tech industry pretty much my whole career, owned my own internet service, and I've owned my own training company, and I've actually owned a PC repair business too. So I've seen a lot of things change over time, and I'm going to hope to try and make technology a little bit easier for you to understand today. For those of you that are familiar with Get Set Up, you know, we teach and learn useful skills so that we can learn from each other. Sometimes somebody's got a suggestion or a recommendation that helps out others in a class. There's no wrong questions. There's just questions I may not be able to answer is all. You can request a recording after the class by email at help@getsetup.io. And for those of you joining us on live streaming, hello, we're good to see you. And we hope you go to the getsetup.io website and join us. And we're not paid to promote specific products. So I'm going to mention a lot of products today because we're talking about how to buy something, but we don't get paid for any of them. They're just products that might come up during the discussion, okay? So the agenda is pretty simple, but the technology is complex in many ways. And so we're going to try and simplify the technology and purchasing a decision about what to consider, the choices that are available, and some shopping tips. But I'm wondering if people have any questions, if they're looking for a new PC in the next 30 days, Anybody looking to buy one soon? Elaine, you're waving your hand. Great. Okay. Anybody saying, gee, I wonder if I should buy one soon? So I don't know if you heard or not, but I heard on the news this morning that Ford Motor Company is shutting down more production on cars. Cars use a lot of computer chips. From what I last heard, there's about 40 to 50 computer chips used in each car these days. And there's a shortage of chips, but it won't affect your ability to buy a PC. Carolyn, do you have a question?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. Where are you
I am
located,
a
Carolyn?
gamer. And so I need a computer that will allow me to play games.
Okay, what kind of games?
Well, I do the laptop, I do the iPad more now than I used to, so they're not as complicated. I have game systems, but I
Okay,
need to play like RPGs. Nothing real difficult, just old people games.
okay, okay. We'll talk a little bit about gaming. Okay, gaming's very popular these days, and during COVID, because people have discovered all types of ways to keep themselves busy, right?
Yeah,
Anybody do?
Bob.
Yeah, Joyce.
Yeah, I've been delaying and delaying and delaying, to buy the computer, a new computer, and I just need. I guess I don't know if I should go to the store or should I go online. I keep putting it off. So I really need some encouragement, to really figure out what I need to do, what's the right thing to do. Because I do genealogy and I write poetry. So
Oh,
I
fantastic.
yeah. So I need
You type a lot. You type a lot on a keyboard, huh?
yeah.
Okay, okay. What part of the country do you live in, Joyce?
I'm in Brooklyn, New York.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. So we have a lot of choices there. Do you have a Costco nearby you at all?
Yeah, I mean it's reachable. Yeah.
Okay, okay. We're going to talk about the places to buy computers. That actually has a lot more to do with computers than the actual computers themselves, believe it or not, because most everything that's made inside computers is made by the same people, and they just put a label on it and call it their brand name. And so what goes inside a computer is really the same for across all brands and all models, pretty much, as long as you're buying Windows. If you're buying a Mac, it's Apple. That's the main difference. Hiroko, I saw you hand up. You have a hand up. Go ahead and unmute yourself. Hiroko, unmute yourself.
Unmute.
There
Can you
we
hear me?
go.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now, yes.
Okay. I just want to make a very small, humble comment and my observation. I have quite a few contemporary friends who could easily afford to buy PC, but I guess seems to be psychological reasons. They keep on asking me what to buy, what not to buy. Not only a few months, but 2-3 years, to the point I said, I can't, please don't ask me anymore, because you have a psychological block. And I and my sons, we give a very sincere opinion, but they end up in not buying, with a psychological feeling that something better may be hidden somewhere under the shopping counter or something. But my humble opinion, everything is more or less the same. You just set up your budget and buy the best available there.
Right, right. And I'm going to show you some websites that I send friends to and
Right.
family members that give recommendations for what to buy depending on what you need it for, right? Because and that's really one of the things. So these are the questions that I get most commonly from people about buying a new PC, right? And it's hard to be the person that people ask about technology and other things. And so I found some resources I send people to, and I'm going to show you them and what they recommend and how to send people to different places. And they're great places for advice. So how do you choose? Well, in reality, the hardware, the box we use, whether it's a laptop or a desktop or a tablet, it's just there to run software for us. We want to browse the web. Carolyn, I think you mentioned you play games. Joyce is a poet. We want to use the computer to do things, to help us do things. And most of the time it's browsing the web and doing email, and all computers will do that. But sometimes there's a little bit of a difference in terms of the processing speed of the hardware, how you get support from where you buy it, the price that fits your budget, like you said, Hiroko, what fits your budget is probably one of the most important considerations, and the operating system. Now, the operating system is basically Windows, Mac, or Chromebook, and we're going to talk about Windows here more than anything else. It's the most popular operating system out there, but it's not the only one. They all will do the things I mentioned: browse the web, do email, let you do a little writing and things like that. So I know people don't think about support until they have a problem, but I like to think about support before I even buy a product. Okay, what's the warranty? What's the return policy? Is there extended care available? Is there help available at any time? Some people like a technician that comes out to your home that fixes things. Other people are okay taking something into a retail store. So stores like Staples and Office Depot, they've got computer technicians in their stores, and if you buy their extended care plan, you can take your computer in anytime you need to. But other companies like Microsoft offer extended care, and Microsoft actually makes their own computers now. You may not be aware of that, but they do. Okay, so that's support. Support's a factor. And some retailers and organizations and manufacturers do a better job. It's always easier to buy a support plan when you buy your computer.
What's the cold season, no?
Oh my God,
It's
a little.
Yeah, oh, okay. I'm going to put you on. She went off. Okay. All right. I didn't want that noise to interfere with anybody listening. So as some of you mentioned, how you use your PC and what you want to do with it is really important. So are you just browsing the internet or doing email? Your phone, your tablet, a basic PC will do a lot of those things. But let's say you want to use it for Zoom or video. Zoom makes it a little more demanding. You can use Zoom on almost any PC. But if you wanted to do things like the virtual backgrounds feature, like I have the Get Setup logo behind me, that takes more power in your PC. If you're hosting Zoom meetings or doing anything else, it takes more power. So it's going to push you up into a higher budget. Streaming video, most PCs will do it fine. Like most of our televisions have smart apps that you can use on your TV, and they don't have very powerful computer chips in them, but they can stream from Netflix or other things. But the speed of your computer can make a difference. And some of you mentioned maybe you do some graphics, maybe you do some game playing and other things like that. Those place more demands on your PC. So if you're doing just browsing the web or email, and you can get away with what's generally called a mid-range PC. And I recommend you consider something what's called a mid-range, and we'll talk about the pricing for that. So there's three kind of ranges of applications: light applications, mid-range applications, and heavy duty applications. And I should put game playing here. Game playing can be a demanding, because the visual display, anything that puts a lot of demand on the display having to update and refresh itself a lot, creates a need for more computing power. But the mid-range PCs that are on the market, they'll do photo editing, financing, streaming, video conferencing, word processing, they'll do everything. But if you just have a light use, your web browser and email, they'll be doing. And our phones, if you buy a new phone today, it's probably going to have as fast a processor in it as what you bought a year ago in a PC. Sometimes they're even faster. So phone technology and tablet technology is very powerful today as well. Okay, so let's take a look at what applications do. When you have a piece of hardware, most of the hardware is made by, what's inside the box is made by the same people. What is different is the operating system. So on a Windows PC, we get a operating system made by Microsoft, but people like Lenovo, Acer, Dell, HP, etc., they put it on their hardware. They buy the operating system from Microsoft and they put it on their hardware and they sell it to people with the operating system pre-installed. So the operating system acts like a layer and a layer cake. And applications, the stuff we want on top with the frosting and everything, that's what we use. So we use word processors, we use web browsers, we use email, we use video streaming apps like Netflix, we use Zoom. Those are all applications that work on the operating system. So what's happened is that companies like Microsoft have gotten really big. And if you bought an Apple product, you would buy an Apple operating system. If you buy a Chromebook, you would buy a Chrome operating system. But the hardware that's underneath is very, very similar. It has essentially three things. So these are just some different companies that make operating systems. Apple, Windows made by Microsoft, iOS made by Apple, and Chrome and Android made by Google. So we're looking at Windows PCs, and Windows 10 has been out about 5 years. So any Windows PC you buy today will come with Windows 10 pre-installed on it. No matter who you buy it from or where you buy it, it will come with the Microsoft operating system. And that's actually the more important thing than the hardware, but the hardware is what determines how fast it is. It's kind of like, you know, if you buy a Ford or a Chevy or a Toyota or a Lexus or a Mercedes, and you buy one with a gasoline engine, they all use gasoline. They'll all run on different gasoline. So if you find a pump that pumps gasoline, you can power that car, right? But the cars are all made by different people. Okay. And so, but the gasoline is what powers them all. That's what's common to them all. So you might have different brands of computers, but they all basically make a lot of the same things work. Elaine, did you have a question?
Yes. Yes, can you hear me?
I can hear you just great.
Okay, great. Yeah, I wanted to find out, you had mentioned about with Windows 10 that you said it comes with, what did you say it came with?
It comes with email, and it comes with a word processor, and it comes with a web browser, all built in, and a few other things like a calendar and a note-taking app.
Okay, is that what you're saying? That's installed, that you don't have to upgrade that every year?
It will, Windows 10, when you buy Windows 10 from Microsoft or through a computer manufacturer, Microsoft gives you free updates.
Okay,
for
that's
as long as
good.
they're willing to support Windows 10, and they've said they're going to support it for another 5 years.
Okay,
Okay.
great. All right, thank you.
It's a really nice operating system, and so you get updates free of charge. It actually even comes with its own built-in security software.
Right.
So you don't have to buy anything extra if you don't want to.
Oh,
Oh,
wonderful.
really?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mhm.
Okay. Hardware, laptops versus desktops. So the operating system is going to be Windows. Now you may see something called Windows 10S. Windows 10S is a less expensive version of Windows. It only has one difference from the Windows 10 home version. So if you see a computer and you say it has Windows 10 Home, that's the full version of Windows. If it says it has Windows 10 S, the only thing that means is that you would buy or get any applications you want to install through the built-in Microsoft App Store that comes with Windows. Otherwise, it functions exactly the same way. And Microsoft's Windows Store, which I cover in the Windows 10 Basics class, is really a great place to go and get apps. So Windows is going to be Windows across everything. Okay, so whether you get a laptop or a desktop is more of a where you work and how you want to work and how you want to use it. Most computers are, unless you build one yourself, which I don't recommend, they're not that easy to upgrade anymore. You pretty much buy them and that's the way they're going to be for the life of the computer. They come with, so you want to buy the computer with the screen size you want. And so laptops differ in price because of their screen size. They measure the diagonal, just like televisions. You buy a 55-inch TV, it's corner to corner. You buy a 13-inch laptop, it's corner to corner. The keyboard is probably one of the most important things on a laptop, because unlike a desktop, you're using the keyboard that's built in, and that's going to be with you for as long as you own the computer. So having a comfortable keyboard to type on, and smaller laptops will have slightly smaller keyboards. You know, if you got, I have long fingers. My parents tried to, get me to play the piano when I was a kid, and I got tired of it after a while. But if you have long fingers or bigger hands, a small keyboard might feel kind of cramped. So make sure the keyboard's comfortable. Make sure you're okay using a trackpad versus a mouse. Now I have a laptop that I have hooked up to a monitor, and I do have a keyboard and a mouse separate. You can always connect a accessory keyboard and accessory mouse to a laptop if you want to. But laptops are very portable. You can take it from your bedroom to your kitchen to your office. So if you have a limited amount of space, or you want to be able to carry it around with you, work in the backyard, watch a video, those types of things, having that laptop portability is convenient. And laptops usually come built in with webcams and microphones. Sometimes they're okay, but on the less expensive laptops, that's where they start to cut the budget. But laptops always come with built-in Wi-Fi, and newer ones come built in with Bluetooth as well.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, Joyce.
Bluetooth, is that like a what's the word?
It's a wireless network. Bluetooth is a wireless network that connects two devices together. So when do you use your phone hands-free in your car? Do you have your phone?
I'm not a driver, so.
Okay. Do you use a fitness watch or anything like that, or a Fitbit or an Apple Watch or anything?
I'm afraid not.
Okay. All right. Do you have headphones that are wireless?
No, I'm not that advanced, Bob.
Okay. All right. So you probably haven't used Bluetooth that much. That's okay. Okay. That's okay.
Is it a speaker? I mean, I'm really confused with some of these terms.
Sure. I don't blame you. You didn't know you were going to become a computer expert, right? So let's say you've got a phone here. I'm going to draw something a little bit. I'm not the best artist here, but let's say you've got a phone, and let's say you've got a car. I got to draw the shape of the car here. Hang on. Let's see if I can draw the car here. Okay. And that's my car. Hey, I'm doing pretty good at this. I'm getting better every time I try drawing. And so there's my wheels. Okay. Okay. And so your car, you don't want to drive and have your phone in your hand. That's against the law in most every place. So what you want to do is you want to connect your phone to your car, but the way you do it typically is with a wireless technology called Bluetooth. So there's a little antenna in your phone that broadcasts a signal, and there's a little antenna in your car that broadcasts a signal, and it's called Bluetooth.
Hmm.
Bluetooth, I got it spelled here, so I'm going to just circle that. It's Bluetooth. So Bluetooth was made by Nokia back in the old days when Nokia made phones. And it was made so that people didn't have to use a wired headset on their ears. I see Earl's got a headset. Earl, is yours wired? Is it have a cable?
Yes, it's wired.
Okay, so if Earl wanted to get rid of that cable, he could get a headset that is Bluetooth capable, Bluetooth headset. And that means that if his computer had Bluetooth and his headset had Bluetooth antennas, they could communicate with each other over a wireless network with each other. So it's a way for, if you have so there's the Bluetooth is used by about 18,000 products in the world. You can get a Bluetooth scale to keep track of your weight and get an app on your phone. You can get a Bluetooth barbecue grill thermometer so that you can have the probe and the meat outside and be talking to your friends inside, you know, and not have to keep your eye on the steak all day long. So Bluetooth is just a way for two devices to communicate with each other wirelessly.
Two devices.
And I'd say device, it could be a phone, it could be a TV, it could be a computer, it could be a speaker, it could be a headset, it could be a smartwatch. It gives two devices a way to communicate with each other wirelessly without a wire. And it's typically used by things that are close to each other. Wi-Fi is how we connect up to the internet. So it's a different.
So that's another term I didn't know. Like I said, what are they talking about? Wi-Fi. I just could not get it, but I think I get it now, because I can't, you know, if you go somewhere, you hopefully, if you have Wi-Fi on your, like this iPad I got, and I went to the doctor's office and the Wi-Fi was gone. So I had to use, I now know I can use, if the doctor's office had Wi-Fi, I would be able to use my laptop. My iPad.
iPad, you can connect up to the internet. Exactly.
Okay. Yes. That took a long time.
Yeah, it does. I know. Okay. So that's there's a class I teach called Home Networks Essentials, or Understanding Home Networks, where we go into all of that technology and explain it. So you brought up a good point, Joyce. You've got a tablet. Okay, tablets are very portable, and they'll do a lot of things. They have a touch screen. You can download a lot of apps. You can browse the web. You can go shopping on Amazon. Most tablets are made by Apple, but there are Android tablets out there as well. But it is not Windows. It's not Windows. Now, there are Windows 10 computers out there that are tablet-like. The screen, they fold over, or they have detachable keyboards, and you can use them like a tablet. And so if you like using Windows 10 and you'd like to just have the same thing and use it as a tablet, you don't have to necessarily buy a separate tablet. You could buy a Windows 10 laptop that functions as a touch screen and works as a tablet too. That way you just have one computer instead of two computers, okay? I'm a big fan of minimizing devices, but can't always do it, okay? But tablets usually don't have keyboards. So tablets are better for people that browse the web, watch videos, read things, as opposed to people that type or create things. Tablets are kind of hard to type on because they don't have the best keyboards always, but they're getting better. But I always recommend their smaller keyboards. Hi, Elaine. Oh, Jean Ann, okay.
Yes, Bob, hi, everybody. I want to just ask you on the screen where we talk about PCs and tablets, where would you place the Microsoft Surface Pro series?
Hello.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Because the Surface Pro is a touchscreen laptop. Okay. And so you can use it as a tablet-like computer. It's kind of a dual purpose device that lets you do that. And so that's why I mentioned that if you like using your Windows device all the time, but remember when you're using it as a touch screen and you have it in tablet mode, you're typically not going to have the keyboard available. When you flip it over and switch it, it becomes versatile. It's a very versatile device. And there are a lot of I was shopping at Costco, browsing in advance of this class, and there are tablets that where the screen literally folds over. So you have a screen, you have the surface of the laptop like this, and it has a screen that normally is on a hinge. And it's possible to, let me see if I can move that. It's possible to actually flip this screen over and close it on the laptop like that. And then or I think it actually reverses like this. And so then that bottom becomes the surface, the tablet you can use as a tablet. Really a versatile tool, really versatile. And so it's kind of like an all-in-one device. They're they're in the $700 to $1,000 price range, but they're great.
Thanks,
People really
Bob.
like.
Hey, Bob, Bob.
Yeah.
Can you-
like-
Hi, yeah, Bob, that's my husband. He's listening in and he had a
Oh, okay.
question.
All right.
Hi.
Hi.
How you doing? We have a desktop and it always keep asking us to update our drive. And it kind of makes the computer run slow. And
That's a computer.
we was trying to figure out, do we have to do that? And it keep telling us to buy this program to update the drive and
No, Microsoft Windows 10 has a built-in tool on the Windows 10 settings class that I teach. I show people how to do it. If you go to
Okay.
settings and system and storage, you can type in a search on Microsoft how to clean up your disk drive. You don't have to buy any other software for that.
okay, cool.
It's advertising you're getting. I'm almost positive. I can never
True.
be 100% sure, but I'm almost positive.
True. Thank you.
Okay, let's talk about what comes with computers, okay? They all come with a CPU or a chip. They're usually made by Intel or another company called AMD. Okay, so they're all pretty much the same no matter what computer you buy. They all come with memory that's called RAM. They all come with a storage device, either a hard drive platter, which is a magnetic disk that rotates, or something called a solid state drive, which is all electronic. It's like the memory in our phones and tablets. You know, your phone or tablet, when you tap it, it wakes up right away. That's because it uses a solid state drive. And I'm going to explain these things a little more. Okay, because these are the important things. What happens is the CPU is the brains. Does the calculating. Memory, RAM, is where all of your software sits when you are doing things. So it's like if you had a kitchen and you were cooking a meal, you're the brains of the kitchen, and you want things on the kitchen counter that you can get to quickly. Salt, pepper, flour, bowl, whatever you're working with. And then you've got things in long-term storage. Maybe you don't keep them around or you just pull them out for when you're making a meal. I was making pasta the other day and I got out a strainer, but I keep it up in the top shelf because I don't make pasta that often. So your computer, the brain is always looking to memory, and then it's pulling things out in and out of memory, and it's pulling things in and out of your hard drive. And it's doing that all day long. That's the work it does. Okay. And they make it work pretty good. For a processor, speed is measured in gigahertz, you know, miles per hour, but in a processor, it's measured in gigahertz, and 2 to 2.5 gigahertz and up is really fast. that will do almost anything you need these days. What you find is computers go down in price, you get slower processors. As they go up in price, you get faster processors. The prices are all very competitive. You really don't get a whole lot you don't have to do a whole lot of price shopping. You're not going to save like $1,000 by buying it through one place or another these days. The other thing that affects the speed of computers is something called cores. And what companies have done is they actually figured out a way, the people that make the chips, they can put more than one brain on a single chip. A chip is that little tiny square rectangle that you never see inside of your computer, but inside one chip, there'll be multiple processors, multiple brains, and that makes the processor faster. So you can get one with 2 cores or 4 cores, or if you go up in price above $1,000, you'll typically get a computer that has 6 or 8 cores. And that means it can do things twice as fast, 4 times as fast, 6 times as fast, or 8 times as fast as one CPU can. So better computers will have faster CPUs in gigahertz and more cores. That's what you pay for when you go up in price. One of the things you pay for. RAM. Most computers come with plenty of RAM. RAM is the place where when you power on your computer reads information off of the hard drive and stashes it away in RAM. It's the quick access that your CPU wants to get to while it's working on things. So it wants to get to things quickly. So most computers do come with 8 gigabytes of RAM. You might find less expensive ones below $500 are might cut that back to 4 gigabytes. But 4 is okay, but 8 is more than enough for what most people need. But if you do a lot of heavy duty things like gaming or video or photo editing, you want to get as much as you can. 16 gigabytes would be better for that type of purpose. And then storage. There's 2 kinds of storage drives right now. Storage holds things, and you really don't need a lot of capacity, but what you'll get as you pay more money is you'll pay for more gigabytes of storage. Most people do okay with about 256 gigabytes because we don't really have a lot, but if you do photos or videos or write a lot of things, you might want to get a larger hard drive. And there's 2 types now, a rotating platter called a hard drive and something called a solid state drive. Solid state drives are more expensive, but they're a lot faster. We have in our phones, in our tablets that come on instantly, they have what is like solid state drives. They have what's called flash memory in them so that they wake up right away. So that's why they're so expensive, is that for such a small device. And some laptops, budget laptops, will give you smaller sizes of storage, or they might give you what's called a hard drive. Okay, hard drives are less expensive, so you can get more storage for less money, but solid state drives are coming down in price more and more. But we've got a chip shortage now, believe it or not, so they're going up in price. So
why is there a chip service? Why?
Everybody's stuck at home on Zoom, Joyce.
Oh, okay.
And all these companies sent everybody to work at home, and all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
But if you had known years ago that would be the business to go into, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is my simple guide to price ranges. These are for laptops. Desktops are about the same price, oddly enough. I recommend people start in the middle. That's the Goldilocks spot. Okay, for most people, a mid-range, and actually you can find things now for about $600 to $1,000. So you can get a pretty good laptop for starting at about $600. They typically have fast multi-core CPUs, like I mentioned. They usually have enough RAM, and they usually have more than enough storage for most people. As you go up in price, you'll get faster CPUs, you'll get more RAM, you'll get more storage. You start to do little things. You might get a better quality webcam, a better quality microphone, a larger screen. So these are things that start to push things, as you go up in price to more like 1,000, or and then when you get into what's called high end, these are like $1,500. They're where you want to go for gaming and photo editing and video editing. If you go less than $500, you'll be okay doing everyday tasks, and you can still do things like write word processing with Microsoft Office and stream on Zoom and things like that. But if you can, I recommend people try and stay in the mid-range if their budget lets them do it. But you can get some good computers for $500 or less too. But because something's going to be better than what you have now typically. Okay. Where do you go? Well, Apple sells Apple products. Microsoft sells products too. Microsoft has a web store where they sell their own brand of Microsoft Surface PCs. And somebody mentioned that they asked about Surface PCs. Microsoft makes its own hardware now, and they sell add-on Microsoft support. When you buy the PC for a small, under, I think $250, you can get like a 3-year support plan that includes telephone support and remote support for your Microsoft Surface PC. And they have a program where they give you personal shoppers. So you can just go to Microsoft.com. We'll try and take a look at that. Costco has gotten rave reviews for everybody that's ever taken this class, and friends of mine that buy technology. They love buying it from Costco. Costco includes the warranty from the company, but Costco provides their own 2-year technical support for all their members. Whenever you buy a computer or a TV or anything electronic from Costco, they include 2-year technical support as part of your purchase, as just for being a Costco member. I think a membership is what, about $75 to $100 now. And so you got it. They've got an excellent return policy. Microsoft's got an excellent return policy as well. So some traditional retailers, Best Buy is doing really well, but you also got Walmart, Target, Amazon as retailers, and they're good. Okay, so check the return policies for all of the retailers and check what kinds of support plans they have. Best Buy, as you know, has the Geek Squad. If you haven't heard of them, they actually are people that will come out on site. But you can also take a computer into Best Buy. And then you can also buy computers from people directly, like HP, Dell, Lenovo. All the major brands sell computers direct to consumer. And they typically have the best support plans for their own product, because all the chips are the same, all the processors, all the RAM is made. It's like Taiwan, in case you're wondering, is where most of this stuff is made. And so Taiwan is the world manufacturing, location for computer products all over the world. And so when you buy something from HP, are you really buying? They're the assembly group. Dell assembles it, Lenovo assembles it, Acer assembles it. So you get a lot of choices there. So 2 websites that I like to go to, and I'm going to show you these now, because I can't keep up on all the technology. No one can, right? It's all over the place. So I actually use, I had it all set up already. I use 2 websites. I'm going to make this bigger for you. Okay, I use 2 websites. One is called Wirecutter. I'm going to put that in chat. It's also going to come out in the follow-up email. They're owned by the New York Times, but they are a reader-supported product review website. I mean, they review everything, but they're really good on electronics. Here's Wirecutter, and I'm going to click on electronics, and it gives me the ability to search for laptops or computers. So let's take laptops or home theater. So laptops. Okay. And so they have all these little sections and they try and help you out. So here's the best laptop for under $500. Let's take a look. Okay. And they explain lots of laptops cost less, but it's hard to find a cheap one that doesn't totally suck. They've
Right.
tested hundreds. Okay. So they can tell you, okay, they're hard. So there are some you can get to. So we don't want a Chromebook. We want a Windows laptop. And they say what a bit more money gets you. So they will have typically 3 recommendations. Acer Aspire, the best Windows laptop under $500. And they explain why. Good screen, comfortable keyboard, reliable trackpad, but it's going to struggle if you keep more than a couple of apps open. You can add memory to it. It comes with 4 gigabytes, an Intel Core i3. That's Intel's one of their lower end processors. It's good enough. But they say if you need to run Windows apps, or this is what they recommend. So let's go back and see what does a little more money get you. Okay. Research a bit more money gets you. If you can spend a little more than $500, you should do so. You can buy a significantly better laptop that will feel better to use and last years longer. Okay. So that's going to help push you up into the mid-range laptops. And like I say, a lot of these are very similar, but this comes with an AMD Ryzen. They're both AMD are good. They're a little more money. Okay, so you can get one for about $550. You can get one for about $580 to $630. Okay, and sometimes, like I noticed, Costco sometimes will have a manufacturer's promotion and some things. What do you get if you just want to do something for photo or video editing? Well, they're going to push you up into a more powerful laptop. And I'm logged in. Okay, so I'm going to delete this. Let's see if I can get here. Or not, or if I don't have to create an account. Let's see. Don't remember if I know my password. Oh, okay. Okay. So I'm going to probably just go to this. It won't let me log in and get past this window. Usually it doesn't make me log in. So I'm not kind of surprised it's doing that right now. Let me try refreshing this and see if I can get around to it because it's free to use. Oh, okay. They don't want me to do this. Okay. Let's see if I can go with Google and try this quickly. There we go. Okay, now I'm all set. Okay. So gaming laptops are going to be more expensive. See, about $1,600. But you need a higher quality screen. You need a faster processor. It's got 6 cores. It's got 16 gigabytes of RAM, and it's got a 512 gigabyte solid state drive. And it has a separate graphics card that improves gaming and video and graphics and photo editing. Okay.
Oh,
that will push you up. That's what you get when you start to pay more in price. Okay. So then they also have the best cheap gaming laptop, the best Windows Ultrabook, the best laptops in total. Okay, so they have a lot of different good recommendations because they test everything out. So let's talk about the best. What is the Mac or Windows? The best Ultrabook. Ultrabooks are kind of they're a lightweight laptop. They're not really a brand name or anything, but they're about $1,000. So that's what generally gets you a laptop that's going to last, a really long time for almost anything you might do. And it makes it good. They have a Mac if you want to, but and so MacBooks are becoming popular as well. But if you're used to using Windows, stay with you. And then they have a budget pick, $770 from Lenovo. But this one's hard to get. It's really popular. This is I think the Yoga series from Lenovo lets you use it as a touchscreen tablet too. Okay. So what happens is that most Windows computers around 500 or less are larger, heavy, and have poor battery life. So that's why they say if you can move up in price, it to about $800 or so, you're going to be much happier. They're a good website. They're going to simplify your choices a lot, and you can go with their model. You can just find something that's pretty similar. If another website I use is Consumer Reports, they are a nonprofit. They do product reviews, but you can get them through your library. Your local library may give you access to Consumer Reports as well. And they have electronics, they have computers, let's take laptops. And so they give ratings here on laptops, and they give you just a set of ratings. So they give them numbers and they rank them by size. Here's a 10 to 11 inch, a little too small, 12 to 13. And then that's about average size. And a 14 is pretty good size. So you can see about $1,000, from different brands. They give them scores that people, might be interested in. And so they rank them in priority of scores. The higher the number, the better the score they give you. Okay. So all the brands, here's a good one, Samsung. They call it a best buy because they're saying, hey, for the price, you're getting a lot of computer. So those are two websites I use. Because you want to buy a computer that you don't have to replace every, in a couple of years. You want to have something that's going to last, 4 or 5 years. And you should expect any computer you get. Mine's 4 years old, works great. I probably got another year of life out of it before I upgrade, but I do a lot of things like video and other things on it too. There are sites like Costco that sell computers. And if you have one nearby, they're great. So we can shop all departments. Okay, there we go. And Costco is going a little slow today. Okay, people are buying a lot of things. There's computers. They carry a pretty wide selection, but Costco, they have a buying guide that helps you out. They shop by category. They sell Microsoft ones as well as ones by Dell and others. So you can see here's a desktop. You typically will buy a desktop as a box, and you might buy the display separately, or you can buy something that's an all-in-one. Okay. So they have things, and they have a good buying guide. If you go to the store, they have a more pared down collection to make it a little bit easier for people to shop. But again, they have this. They carry all these brands, and they have a great return policy if you're not happy with it.
Bob, what do you think about B&H?
B&H is a good retailer. They're okay. I bought some photography equipment from them. It's more a matter of their return policy. You may, if you're not in the store, it's kind of like buying a mattress. When you buy a mattress, a lot of mattress companies now are giving you 30-day, free return policy. When you get a computer, you're going to open it up. You're going to say, what about that? You know, and as long as you may get it and you may decide, you know, I should get something a little faster, or I wish I'd spent an extra $200, or it's going to work okay. Like I say, most of them work really well. Sam's Club, which is owned by Walmart, they're a good retailer, but again, everybody's retail policy differs in terms of how they'll handle a return and what they charge for it. So I always recommend that's to me the most important thing that you're going to have. And how do you get support when you need help? If you have a problem with your computer within the warranty period, the manufacturer will generally take care of it. But one of the things you can get from support, because I get a lot of people that come to me and say, gee, Bob, something's wrong with my computer. And I'll say, well, who'd you buy it from? Oh, I bought it from so-and-so. I said, we'll go back to them. Well, they say they're going to charge me for that. Okay, so Microsoft sells their own brand of computer called the Surface. And they have different ranges. They have sales. Here's a Surface Pro 7, Surface Laptop 3, but they have personal shopping. They have a little pop-up here that says talk to an expert, okay, if you want to. So and then they offer support plans on all of their computers. So if I just click on, say, this one for $800, see, their chat pops up, right? So, and you can actually schedule a personal shopping service, or call and talk to someone on the phone if you want to. And they have recommendations. You can talk in an expert right now. And so they are really good, and they will install if you want to buy it with Microsoft Office installed on it, they'll do that too. So those are just some recommendations that I have for some things. You'll get, this is a little checklist. You're going to get a little attachment, in your handout. Just some guidelines to help you get some ideas. All the brands are pretty much the same. It's I think more importantly where you buy it, where you get support, and getting into the range of computer budget, mid-range, higher performance is always going to make a difference. And particularly with a laptop or a desktop, these days you aren't going to upgrade your computer. So buy the best computer you can afford to buy is my advice to people when they buy it. So, how you're going to use your PC, is a laptop or desktop best for you? Check the technical support options that are available. Most people are going to be happy with the mid-range model, roughly $750 to $1,000 in price range is going to be what most people, but if you do more gaming, more video, more other things, but if you're just writing and using Office and using Zoom and other things, a $750 to $1,000 range laptop is going to work and last you for a long time. And desktops about the same as well, but desktops, you can replace the monitor. You can replace other things on them as well if you need to. So you're going to get an email after the session with some links to some of these sites I mentioned. You can request a recording at help@getsetup.io. And, we're always looking for new guides and new participation and new communities and other things like that. Hopefully this will help you narrow things down and try and avoid confusion when you buy them, when you buy one. Okay. Okay. So any questions from anybody before we say goodbye? Okay. It's a lot to learn, I know, but that's why I go to these websites for
But do you think people who are really concerned about buying a computer should have someone with them if they go to a retail store or even online? I mean, you know, I keep thinking I'm gonna make a mistake. You know,
Yeah, you can. And that's why, to me, the retailer is the most important thing. If I had a 93-year-old gentleman that I was helping out, he took a class of mine at a community college about 2 years ago. And he said, I think I need a new computer, but I don't know what to get. And I said, I recommended he go directly to Microsoft. Microsoft is one of the most helpful companies when it comes to buying a computer and supporting a computer after you buy it. And they have training classes, they have online support. And so that's going to be the biggest difference, Joyce. And they don't put a lot of pressure on you. They're not on commission. They won't pressure you. They basically want to help you find what you want. So retailers like Costco that don't have commission salespeople, although I think their satellite TV people are on commission because they always approach you when you walk in the door. But Costco and Microsoft and other retailers are like that. You know, that's the most important thing, Joyce, if you're not sure what you're going to buy, is to go to a retailer that doesn't have a commission sales team, because then they're going to sell you what you need as opposed to what they want to sell you.
okay.
Like buying anything else, you know, like buying a pair of shoes. Yeah, you can go for those Nike Jordans, you know, but will a $50 pair of tennis shoes get you through walking around the block and, you know, everything like that? Yeah, probably. But if you want to look cool, you know, yeah, you can go all the way for the high end if you want. So just be careful of computer sales people is all. But go to a retailer that makes it, that has good policies for those things. That's the best thing for you.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
Yep.
Thank you all for coming today, and hopefully you'll learn a little bit about. Thanks, Elaine. Thanks, Jean-Ann. Thank you, Joyce. Helpful. Thank you for all of your help and participation, and hope to see you at another class of mine soon. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.